Oh, hey there. So, still alive, still kicking. You may have noticed that I've been kind of gone for a few months, and I was just gonna continue to be gone until I thought, hey, we can come back and start making content again. But I've had enough people reach out to me just to be like, hey, man, you good? You still with us? That I thought, okay, maybe I should make a video. And I wasn't going to put it on the main channel. I was going to put it on the second channel, but I was like, I'll just put it on the main channel. It'll reach who wants to see it. And for those who don't want to see it, well, I mean, they just won't see it. And it might stay up, it might not. I don't know. Another reason why I wanted to make this video is because the subject matter, I think, is extremely important. And it is extremely important, especially for a mainly male audience. So the subject will be beneficial, I think, and will also explain where the hell I've been for the last, 6, 7 months at this point? I don't know how long it's been. It's been a while. So let's start with a little bit of backstory. About 5-ish years ago, somewhere in there, I was dealing with some anxiety. It wasn't bad. It would come and go. It was bad, but not like so bad that it was like really bad. But I decided it was bad enough and it was hitting me day to day enough that I wanted to go and do therapy. So I went. I didn't have insurance at the time. I paid for everything out of pocket, and I did that until I didn't have the funds to pay for it anymore, and I stopped going. And at the time, I didn't want to do medication. I wanted to just talk it out, see what could happen. There were other things that I was dealing with at the time that I also talked through as well. The main thing, though, was anxiety. So I did that, and it worked for a little bit. I had some coping mechanisms that worked, and I went on with my life. About 2 years ago, roughly, and this coincides with the changing content. I made the changing content that I was doing because I wanted to, but it also was a way to help with what I was going through. It's the best way I can put it. Taking things off my plate so that I had the capacity to deal with other things. But 2 years ago, my anxiety got really bad, like disabling bad. For those who have never had one, I'm going to explain to you in the simplest terms what an anxiety or a panic attack feels like. It feels like you're going to die. Best way that I can describe it. A lot of people feel like it is a heart attack. It is usually, centered in the chest area. It can flare up in other places, but mainly in the chest area. Everything gets tight. Your body tenses up. You get this huge rush of like adrenaline and all of these different like hormones going through. And it builds up to the point where it kicks in, the fight or flight. And you feel like, yeah, I'm going to die. This is it. It comes. Sometimes it lasts 30 seconds. Sometimes it lasts 15 minutes. But it hits you. And for me personally, it would hit me so hard and I would build up, I think it's adrenaline. I'd build up all this adrenaline of getting ready to, fight or flight, that I would turn into a pile of goo for a day. It would suck all of the energy out of me, which is what made it disabling because I was having these 2, 3, 4 times a week. I would have them in the middle of the night. I would wake up in a full-blown panic attack. Middle of the night. Imagine you're waking up thinking, I'm going to die. And if I don't get out of bed and start moving, like that's what's going to cause me to die. It was a lot of that. And that would happen all the time. And I personally was stuck in a cycle where I would have things that I need to do. Like I need to do this one thing. I would have ADD, ADHD. My attention wouldn't be there, which would then lead to anxiety and anxiety attacks, which would then turn me into a pile of goo, which would then put me into a depressive state because I want to be doing stuff. I want to be working. I want to be editing. I want to be writing. I want to be doing these things. And when my energy and my brain and my body just wouldn't allow me to, that would put me into a depressive state. And from that, I would go straight back into the ADD, ADHD, into anxiety, into depression. And it was this huge circle that I was going in. At the time, I didn't have insurance, and I didn't really have the funds to, pay for therapy and get medication. Because unfortunately, in this country, that's just kind of the world we live in. And because of that, I kind of white knuckled it. I did things. I made changes to my content, changes to streaming schedule, changes to work schedule. I did all of these things to try to help mitigate it to the best of my ability. I watched YouTube videos and read literature stuff on it, to try to help me through it. And it made it manageable. And I say manageable, it was still disabling, but it was manageable. But if it was a scale of 1 to 10, my anxiety at all times during the day was about a 7. That was my baseline. I was at a 7 at all times. Think of an elephant sitting on your chest, but that elephant is sitting on your chest throughout the day. And any little thing that might happen throughout the day would put me into an anxiety attack. It could be something small. Something that a lot of people didn't know. A lot of people still don't know. I've only told a couple of people, not many. The last few streams I did, I actually had anxiety attacks during them. You might not have known it. I probably just went quiet for a couple of minutes or just started to talk really fast, like blah, 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 blah. That led to a fear of even just streaming, something I love doing, something I enjoy very much. And that bled into editing and stuff like that. It was just things that I was dealing with for a couple of years. I would say, when was this? 5-6 months ago, it reached a tipping point for me. I was out working. I was sitting in my car, and I started to have an anxiety attack. So I got out of the car, and I started to walk around, get some fresh air. I started to black out. First time this had ever happened. Now I know it's not common, but people do have it. I was blacking out. Just vision going dark. And with an anxiety attack or a panic attack, it feels like you're going to die. But with this, I am actually dying. This doesn't feel like it. It felt like, this is the end. Which was emotional. And I could see through a pinhole. I had about that much vision. And with that much vision, I called 911. And I said, I'm blacking out. I am short of breath. I'm having trouble standing. I'm dizzy. Can you please send an ambulance? I told him where I was. By the time the ambulance got there, I kind of was coming out of it. I could see again. My vision did come back. But I was just sitting on the ground by my car. I did not have the energy to move. They had to help me into the ambulance. Got into the ambulance. I told them that, I was dealing with anxiety. I had been dealing with anxiety. And I said that it kind of felt like I started with an anxiety attack, but then it got really bad. They did EKG. They did, blood sugar, pulse, all of this stuff. Everything came back fine. They said, you should probably go to the hospital. And I was like, I'm not paying for that. So, they let me go. But I decided, okay, enough is enough. I got to find out what's going on. I thought that it was my heart the whole time. That's what I thought. I knew that I had anxiety, but, it's a little bit of health anxiety. I thought, oh, it's my heart. My heart's just a problem. I have insurance, so thank God for that. So I went to the doctor. They did everything. EKG for several, 15, 20 minutes. Pulse. I told them about the chest tightness. They gave me albuterol, for asthma. I went and got full blood work, chest x-rays, all of this stuff, and everything came back completely fine. Blood work, completely fine. Everything was, I'm healthy. By all accounts, I am healthy, except I'm fat. But other than that, I'm healthy. Cholesterol's good, and, blood count, and, all of the vitamins and iron and everything. Everything was good. Chest x-ray came back negative. Don't have asthma or anything like that. And when that happened, I did feel a sigh of relief. But then it was wow, this is just anxiety that I'm dealing with, like severe anxiety. So I decided to go to therapy or start therapy. And this is why I wanted to talk about this. The main point as to why I wanted to talk about this, because there is a stigma around therapy, especially for men, where, men don't go to therapy. They just deal with their problems. They internalize it. They don't need to talk to anybody. Therapy's for pussies. You're a man. You just deal with it, because that's what a man is supposed to do. And if this reaches just one person, I'm happy with that. If you're dealing with something, if you have the means, again, I understand, not everybody does. Not everybody can afford it. And it sucks that that's how it is. But if you do have the means to do it, go and talk to somebody. And if that stigma still bothers you, just don't tell anybody else. You don't have to do it alone. You can go and talk to somebody. That's why they're there. That's why they get paid. Just having somebody who is detached from the situation that you're in to listen and to help guide you through things goes a long way, a really long way. And again, if that stigma is something that you just can't deal with, you don't have to tell anybody. You don't have to go to your best friend if you don't want your best friend to call you, a pussy, right? Just don't tell him and just go and do it anyways. Because it can help you in the long run, especially if needed, once it gets to the medication part. Now, for me, what I'm about, all of that I just said, you should go to therapy. Everything past this isn't a way to scare you away from therapy. It is just a way for me to maybe help you understand why I haven't been around. So, I started therapy, and I told them about the whole cycle, and they wanted to treat my anxiety. Something I didn't know is anxiety rears its head in a lot of ways. Not only does it make you think, that you're having a heart attack when you have an attack, but it causes attention disorder. It causes depression. It causes a lot of things, gut health even. Like if you have weird bowel changes and stuff like that, it might not even be a sickness. It might just be anxiety. It causes so many things, even like a sore neck or shoulder, because with anxiety, you're always tightened up and kind of on edge at all times. So they wanted to treat that. And yeah, let's do that. And that started my journey with medication. Now, for those who have been through that journey, you'll probably understand. Hopefully you had a good experience. But for those who didn't, this will absolutely make sense. The way that medication works, especially for things that are on the mental side, it's a lot of, let's try this. It didn't work? Okay, let's try something else. That didn't work? Okay, let's try something else. So it's, you try something, you have bad side effects to it, so they put you on something else. And then that works for a little bit, but then it stops working, so they increase dosage, but then you have side effects from that increased dosage. So they're like, okay, well, let's bring you back down. And let's add on this other medication to maybe help with both of them. And that works beautifully. I mean, your anxiety is at an all-time low. Unfortunately, your anxiety's gone, but it takes you 2 hours to get out of bed. Just to find the motivation to roll out of bed takes you 2 hours. It is disabling in another way. So, okay, let's take you off that medication. The anxiety's still good though, right? It's like, yeah, but now my attention and my ADHD is very bad. And when I say very bad, what I it's frustratingly bad. I'm talking going to the bathroom, forgetting to flush, getting out toast, leaving the butter out, leaving in the morning to go to work, remembering that you forgot to take your pills, go back in, see that you left your wallet there. So instead of grabbing your wallet and taking your pills, you take your pills, you put them in your pocket, leave your wallet on your desk, and walk out the door. You get in your car, you realize that, oh, I forgot my wallet and my pills are in my pocket. So you get out of your car to go back inside to get your wallet. You forget your keys are in the ignition. I have trouble. I have trouble having conversations with people. If I'm locked in, I'm locked in. But as soon as anything, any other thought or anything else comes up in my peripherals, this conversation's over. I may be acting like I'm listening. I'm not listening. Or I'll hear it and you'll get to the end of what you're telling me and I'll just sometimes I'm like, I'm sorry, can you repeat yourself? But other times I'm so embarrassed that it's like I just go, oh yeah, uh-huh. Because my brain doesn't have the functioning part happening at this time. And what I've figured out is what was happening, in my brain, the way that my brain was functioning is I had ADD problems, but my anxiety would kind of keep me in check. I would be fearful of having a panic attack that I would do things that would cause me to not have anxiety. So I would do something to keep my anxiety down because I didn't want to have a panic attack. Once my anxiety started to come down, now I can't pay attention to shit. I can't function daily. And I've been trying to find motivations to do things. Like I've been working on a video for about 8 or 9 months now. Just getting up the motivation to work on it takes a lot. And then once I start working on it, it takes all of my brain power to continue working on it. I have, because I've been dealing with this for so long, I have either 7 or 8 videos that I've started and then shelved. They're still there. I still want to do them, but it gets to a point where I become bored or I think that the time has passed for the subject matter, or I think it just won't be good. All of these things creep in. It's my anxiety and my ADD that is making it so I can't work on the things that I love doing, that I enjoy doing. It's frustrating. And I've been trying to find the motivation to do things, but the way that my day-to-day works, I have to intentionally be present to do the most minuscule things. Go to the bathroom, drink water, make food, uh, remember to flush, take my medication. I have to think about it constantly, consistently. Go to the bathroom, 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 go to the bathroom until it's done and I'm done. Get water, get water, get water, get water, get water. If I'm making something, make this, put it away. Make this, put it away. Make this, put it away. Make this, put away. I have to do that for everything I do throughout the day. And when you're doing that, it's hard to find time to do anything else. But I we've finally reached the point where it's like, okay, we need to treat your anxiety and we need to treat your ADHD. So that's in the process. It's a little bit of a longer process, but that is in the process. I'm hoping, everything works out and I'm back to making content in the beginning parts of next year. I'm hoping that I get to the point and I find the medication that works for me, that I have the ability to do that because I love doing it. I love writing scripts. I didn't write one for this because I don't have the capacity for it. So if this has been ranty and kind of all over the place, I am sorry about that. But I love writing scripts. I love recording. I love thinking of the ideas. I love editing it down, most of it. Sometimes it's boring, but I love editing. I love being a creator. I love streaming. I mean, I've been streaming for 10 years, over 10 years. I don't see myself not doing this. I would do this for the rest of my life. I don't even care if I'm getting 20 views, 10 views. I do it as an outlet for creativity. So this is something that I want to do. I'm just not in the place where my brain and the chemicals in my brain will allow me to do it. But I am hoping to get back to it. And I am also hoping that maybe, again, don't let the medication thing scare you away because everybody's different. Medication is different for everybody. Everybody has to go on their journey. There is light at the end of the tunnel. Eventually, you will find a medication that works for you. And that's where I'm at. I'm looking towards the light at the end of the tunnel. Right now it's frustrating and the things that I'm going through are frustrating, but there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And if this helps one person to finally be like, you know what? He's right. I should just go to therapy. I have the means and the ability to do it. I'm just going to go do it. Especially hearing it, hopefully from a fat 36-year-old now man, hopefully I can be the push that maybe you need to go and talk to somebody, to maybe get medication, to know that you're not alone. You can get help. There are resources. You just need to use them. That's it. And I know that there is a stigma, a bad stigma around it, especially for men. But fuck what anybody else has to say. This is for you. This is for your health. It's not for your friend George's health. It's for your health. And you should take care of yourself. It's what I have chosen to do. And in the long run, I will be happier and healthier because of it. So, that's where I'm going to leave it. Again, sorry if this was all over the place. Sorry if it was ranty. I will be back once I get everything, personal life, my mental, everything in order. I will be back. When will that be? Hopefully early next year. In the meantime, have great holidays. Have a good new year. And if you have any, questions or anything to say, comment section's always there. I will try to respond to everything that I can. And yeah, that's it. See you later.